So what's the best way to reward bad behavior? Yeah, you heard me. What is the best way to reward bad behavior? I'm learning that this question needs to be addressed. And I'll make this video really quick. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to these pep talk, inspirational, motivational videos, however you want to name it. But honestly, how do you best reward a person who's misbehaving? I'll tell you how. You reward misbehavior when you don't correct it. If, for example, my little Justin runs around acting crazy, doing things that can endanger himself and others around him. For example, if he's running around with a knife, and I let him do it, I don't correct him, I don't address it, he's going to think that it's okay. The same thing goes for a grown-up. If a person, a teenager, whatever, if a person is misbehaving, something bad is happening, and it's not addressed, it's not corrected, by default, that behavior is rewarded because the person subliminally, subconsciously begins to develop this idea that, hey, I got away with it. I can do it again. And there's the reward. There's a scripture in the Bible, it's in Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11, that I'll tell you what, let me not butcher it. It says, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is set fully in them to do evil. In other words, because correction doesn't come swiftly to a misdeed or a bad deed, that deed is encouraged, that deed is enabled, that person is rewarded. This is why it's important that we address things in our lives, whether it's in marriage or at work or at church. If there's something bad going on, it needs to address. If you're listening to this video and something's going on in your life, maybe it's at work, maybe at the church, school, like whatever. If something bad is happening and you have it within you, you have the ability to speak up and say something, of course respectfully and using the right channels, and you don't do that, you reward the behavior. But Ruben, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But Ruben, I don't want to incur, I don't want to look like I'm okay. If it's within your power to say something and do something about a misdeed, some misbehaviors, something bad going on, and you don't do it, you, in a sense, because you allow it to continue without being checked, you in some way are rewarding it. If we don't let our kids get away with things, why would we, when we have the power within ourselves to address issues in our lives, again, whether at the church or at work or at home or wherever, why would we not do that? Why would we let someone who's in our life continue to disrespect or violate boundaries or whatever the case may be? Why would we let that go on? Because we're afraid to be ridiculed, maybe because we're afraid of the consequences of doing what's right, because there's always a price for that. Maybe because we're afraid that we're going to be looked at as, and then you fill in the blank. Fact of the matter is, when bad deeds aren't addressed, when misdeeds or misbehaviors aren't corrected, they are rewarded. Let me say that again. When bad behaviors aren't addressed, they're not corrected, they are rewarded. And when a bad behavior, when misbehavior, when sin isn't addressed, when it's rewarded, it's encouraged, it's enabled. And the next thing you know, the person that we could have helped by lovingly, respectfully bringing something up, now is going to continue in the direction that you could have helped them avoid. This isn't a call for you to be a police and to be a cop. This is simply an admonition of sorts, a call for you to speak up and say something about the things in your lives, because if the bad deed goes unchecked, it becomes rewarded, enabled, encouraged, and then everything falls apart when you could have done something about it. Guys, think about it. Don't allow bad behavior to go unchecked. Say something. Do something. Save someone's life.